have several comments I'd like to make on this. I guess I'll preface my comments by saying that I'm going to oppose this ordinance tonight. This is something that, this commission is something that's been in effect in Scotch Plains since dating back to the 1940s. And while I think it's fair to say that, just because something's been in existence for a long time doesn't mean you can't change, and sometimes change is necessary. But when you have something that's been around this long, working this well, as testified to by many people here tonight, I think it puts the bar pretty high before you make such a significant change as this. So first of all, I want to say thank you to the people who came out tonight to speak about this topic, and also the people who have contacted me. I've been contacted by considerably more than one person on this issue. The primary reason given by the mayor earlier tonight for this is changing the reporting structure. And look, I think it's fair to say, in this case, Mr. Marabella, he's our township manager. He's the CEO of our town. All CEOs and executives like more control. That's natural. You look at President Obama and President George W. Bush, they didn't agree on much, but they both wanted to increase the power of the executive branch of the government. It's understandable when that's your job, you want more control. But our government at the federal level and lower levels has a lot of checks and balances in place. And there's reasons for those checks and balances, and that's the case here. The Recreation Commission, for those who aren't aware, is comprised of 7 members by state law, and they're appointed by Mr. Marabella. In fact, it'll be the case that come January next year, he will have had the opportunity to report 4 out of the 7 commissioners. So it's fair to say that there is a considerable amount of accountability between the township manager and the director of recreation, because that director of recreation is hired by that commission. I'm thinking back again to this year and trying to answer the question, because I'm asking the same question a lot of you have been asking, well, why do we need to go down this road? And part of the thing is, well, why would you be doing this just for the sake of changing one person's reporting structure? And I'm trying to think back and to myself, what kind of problems, and look, we've had some problems. The issue of Brookside Park is a problem, but that isn't a problem that would have been fixed by making this change. In fact, I can't think of any problems in town that disbanding the Recreation Commission would solve. So again, I don't see the reason for this change. I do, however, if we go this route, see substantial risks. I think it's fair to say that for all the people up here tonight, they could tell you, and being completely sincere with themselves, that, look, we're never going to meddle in recreation. We take it seriously. Our hopes and goals are aligned with yours. But it's also true that in politics, there's an awful lot of people who have big egos. They like power. Some of them are narcissistic. And the problem is that by disbanding the commission, you're removing one of the checks and balances between that power and ego and your recreation community and resources. And this is very concerning to me. So it could be the case that the people up here can say sincerely to you, we would never politicize the recreation. But the reality is, just like this commission's been around for close to 70 years, you make a change like this, it's probably going to be in effect for a very long time. Much longer than me or any of the other people up here are going to be. So what's to say you don't have somebody who's more in it just for their political power than the good of the community? Well, now you've opened up the door for them to politicize recreation. I'll be specific what I mean by that. And I think back to the comments made by, I forget his name, I apologize, the gentleman who's in charge of the Cross organization. They've come on the scene, as he said, recently over the last 10 years, and obviously there's a very limited resource. But by having a commission that's empowered from all the different organizations, they've worked together and they've found what appears to be solutions that have satisfied everybody. Now, it would be very easy for a politician, if all of this is under the politician's immediate control to micromanage, to say, hey, you know what? You want more field time or whatever for your organization? Well, I tell you what, you come support me politically, and I'll make sure that happens. Now again, I'm not saying that's what anybody here would do. You're opening up the door for that possibility, and that's just too big a risk to take with our recreation in Scotch Plains. So, I could go on for a little bit more about this. There's the the specific ordinance we have here tonight, it's a couple pages long. I encourage people to read it. But one of the things in it is it basically disbands all reference to state law. So the existing Recreation Commission is governed by state law. You can look it up, NJ 4012-1, and there's a whole host of things in there, and this basically just abolishes all of that. So to say that nothing's changing with the committee, well, it could be that not much changes, but it could also be the case that a lot changes because, as I can see it here, there's a little bit of text about our new committee structure, and there's all this law that governs a commission. I think that covers the bulk of the points I have. But again, thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. I always want to echo the sentiment I've heard from a lot of people here is, I don't really think anything's broke. I think this is taking wielding a big axe at something that's not that big an issue. I think if there's things that need to be tightened up, we may look to doing them with other ways rather than something as heavy-handed as disbanding the entire Recreation Commission. Thank you very much.